So thank you all for being here, and I am going to ask our mayor, Mayor Josh Garcia, to please come up and welcome you.
Good morning, everybody. Ujima. Ujima is, and I'm so happy because I know we go around the region to different municipalities, and since I started as mayor, it's always been on the day of Ujima, the third day, which is my favorite. At that time, I didn't know much, and so I did a lot of reading upon and learning, and this principle is the very thing that we do here, not just as a local government, but try to spread in every speech that we share in our community with the broader public. Because when you really think about, we're a community of differences, every corner, different perspectives, different groups and cultures. It just feels like over time we're losing that sense of what community is and means, and collective responsibility. It's a shared responsibility that we all take on. In our community, for good or for worse, we work together to solve problems. And so when we learn about this very principle, it's an opportunity for individuals, because we're all busy and we forget and we get all caught up in what's important for me and what my future looks like, and we forget about taking care of our neighbors and what's important for each other and our future. And so, we like to take these opportunities to reflect a little bit and broaden our minds and understand that that it's okay to support each other and support your neighbors. And what I appreciate about this particular principle here, it purposely says, right, to build and maintain our community together and make our brothers and sisters' problems our problems and solve them together. It declares who we are, brothers and sisters, right? Not, this person or that person. We're all brothers and sisters here, and we will do what we can to work together to solve problems, whether if they're mine or not. It's community, and we do them together, and that's what we do here in the City of Holyoke. And so I appreciate so much the leadership that we have. We have State Representative Patricia Duffy, who's here. We have councilors, our Council President Tessa Murphy, Ron Belletti, Councilor Cocaine Givner, and there she is way in the back, and other leaders in our community that have been around for a very long time doing important work that is in the center of this very principle that we're honoring today during Kwanzaa. So with that being said, thank you so much for being here. Ujima, what's the first phrase?
Habarigani.
Habarigani. Habarigani. There we go. Teresa Cooper Gordon, who's been, how long have you been in Holyoke, Teresa?
I've been here about 20 years now.
20 years, making a difference in our community. We love you, Teresa. Thank you so much for everything that you do for this community. So,
Thank you. It's my honor.
I'm not doing this now, right?
No, not now. I also have to recognize the president of the Kwanzaa Collective, which is Ayana Crawford. And Ayana has been working with us throughout Western Massachusetts to make sure that Kwanzaa is recognized in different areas of this community. So Ayana, my sister, thank you. Thank you so much. There is another leader that we have here in our community, and that's Reverend Bernard Smith. Reverend Bernard Smith is the pastor of Bethlehem Baptist Community Church, which is the oldest black church here in Holyoke, right in the center of Sargent Street. It's a beautiful church. We have a lot of our members that are here, community people that are here, and we are very appreciative and very thankful that we have him. He has an amazing voice, so we asked him to please lead us. And if you look at the sheets that you have, there is the words to lift every voice and sing, okay? And so, Pastor Bernard Smith, welcome and thank you for being here. Come up and join us.
Good morning, everyone. It's an honor and a privilege to be here with all of you this morning, and I'm going to ask if those who are able, if they can stand and sing with me if you can. I got adorned. Thank you so much. Lift every voice and sing till earth and heaven ring, ring with the harmonies of liberty. Let our rejoicing rise high as the listening skies. Let it resound loud as the rolling sea. Sing a song full of the faith that the dark past has taught us. Sing a song full of the hope that the present has brought us. Facing the rising sun of our new day begun, let us march on till victory is won. Stony the road we trod, bitter the chastening rod, felt in the days when hope unborn has died, yet with a steady beat have not a weary feet come to the place for which our Father sighed. We have come over a way with the tears have been watered. We have come treading our path through the blood of the slaughtered. Out from the gloomy path till now we stand at last, where the white gleam of our bright star has cast. God of our weary years, God of our silent tears, thou who hast brought us thus far on the way, thou who hast by thy might led us into the light, keep us forever in the path we pray, lest our feet stray from the places, our God, where we met thee, lest our hearts, drunk with the wine of the world, we forget thee, shadowed beneath thy hand, may we forever stand, true to our God, true to our native land.
Thank you, Pastor Bernard Smith. I told you you wouldn't be disappointed. And this is our national anthem. This is the Black national anthem that was written by Weldon Johnson. So this is a song that is a part of the ritual of celebrating. And we do sing this song and we do celebrate it. And the words are very powerful and they mean a lot in terms of the struggle and the togetherness that we had. So, Pastor Smith, thank you so much for those words and that beautiful voice. Okay, so we have another incredible leader in this community, and you're going to meet her today. Professor Zara Cartwell, who is a professor at the university, Westfield State University, because you know they changed all those names around. She lives here in Holyoke with her family. They have been in Holyoke for over 15 years. And we have some real diamonds in our community. And a part of celebrating Kwanzaa is to make sure that we introduce those diamonds in our community. So without any further ado, Professor Caldwell, please come to the stadium, and thank you so very much for being here. And she celebrates Kwanzaa too in her home.
Habarigani. How are you all doing? Sometimes I joke with people who visit us and say, "Oh, is there a lot of black people who live here?" We came from DC and New York, so it was a lot of black people. And I say, "You're in the house with them," but I'm just kidding. There's a lot of black people. And I just want to say that before I talk about, I have some remarks I wrote down. That we're all connected here. So people don't realize that for African Americans, the way we got here, obviously we know it was a slave trade. But often when I'm teaching classes, people are always mystified at how long the slave trade lasted. First of all, the people who experienced the slave trade the longest are people in Latin America and the Caribbean, right? So people who are, of Puerto Rican descent or Latino descent who feel like this is not, I don't think people on the islands have any confusion about that. They're not confused about it at all. I'm from New York. We didn't really have the luxury of parsing out. I have Puerto Rican cousins, I have Dominican cousins. They married in, or they were light-skinned black people. We didn't have in that moment. So it's just an interesting kind of dynamic. But also, I always tell people, Holyoke is Puerto Rican and it's Irish. And the Irish have their own history of very, very unique oppression. So we should always remember that we're in this kind of pit trying to climb out, and we should connect together because our histories are so linked. You could go to Jamaica and meet people named O'Connor who are darker than my husband here because the Irish were brought into, and I'm not going to do a lesson for y'all today, but I'm going to do a little. I'm a historian, so they were brought into Jamaica because the British were also ruling Ireland. So we should really be clear about the really deep connections all of us have together. So we feel like we are sometimes separated, but that's a vast mistake. And the people who benefit from us feeling like we are separated, they're just laughing at us while we're feeling disconnected. As they left us here in Holyoke, Massachusetts to fight amongst each other. And I'm not saying we're doing that. Well, we do that sometimes, but I'm saying that we shouldn't do that, especially in this moment we're in. So we should always, when we see each other, we should always say hello and connect and know that we have a lot in common. And the reason that we are here, and I always tell my students, how do you get to where you are, wherever you are on the planet? Nobody woke up and said, "Oh, I'm going to move to," no. There's a whole rich history of how you got there. We are standing here by the flats. First, the Irish were exploited in the flats, and then they exploited the Puerto Rican folks in the flats. I'm talking real truth. Anybody? I'm talking truth. It doesn't matter how you got here. It's what you're going to do with it. But the point is that we are not here by accident. We're here by a design. So we should just and history unfolds and things happen. So I just want to make sure that we're clear on that as we're standing in this really beautiful city. Every time I go somewhere, I go to Northampton, I go to Amherst, I'm always like, wow, what's the big deal? Right? Because really, it's a crazy kind of, I'll talk to the mayor later about development, but it's crazy that we have boulevards here. I mean, we moved here from DC and New York, and there's boulevards here. I was like, what is happening? It's such a strange kind of thing happening where there's clearly a city that was built up here, right? I talked to my secretary, I'm the chair of my department. I talked to my secretary, and I say to her, "Oh, are you going to go to Amherst for whatever, this restaurant?" And she's like, "Oh," and mind you, she's an Irish descent white woman, and she says to me, "When I was a kid, we didn't leave Holyoke. We had no reason to leave Holyoke. Everything was in Holyoke," which makes sense, right? Because this is crazy, right? And so when I worked at HCC, we used to teach Holyoke history, but the boulevards, the layout of Holyoke. You go to Northampton and walk Northampton, and we all do that. And we'll be still walking our downtown when you're finished walking your downtown. Right? So we really have to like pull it together. Sometimes it's better. I'm gonna talk about that today for a minute. I know I don't have all day. I'm not gonna be long. But I want to think about, sometimes when people turn away, it's the best time because you can do what you need to do without their intervention. So it's something that we need to think about. I won't get you in trouble, Mayor. I know you're recording me, so I'm just gonna say. Anyway, so I want us to think about. I was saying to you guys that 95% of enslaved folks actually didn't come to America. So African Americans have a rich history of making ourselves heard and trumpeting our history, but only 5% of Africans came here, which is not a bad thing. He's so cute. Oh my goodness. So Kwanzaa was founded in 1966 by professor and activist Maulana Karenga. It spans from January 26th, we know that, to January 1st. I'm sorry, December 26th to January 1st. It's conversation with the many harvest celebrations on the African continent and around the world, right? So even, for example, Christmas is also on the solstice, right? People are looking at different ways of thinking of history. It honors lineage, family, and ancestors. The official website that Karenga still holds, still maintains, you guys should look at the website. It's actually called the official Kwanzaa website. Kwanzaa brings a cultural message that speaks to the best of what it means to be African and human in the fullest sense. For those of African descent, Kwanzaa was and is a chance to strengthen and reestablish connections to their origins. And we have a lot of folks who are in this diaspora. You land in Jamaica. Why are there black people when you land in Jamaica? Isn't that the weirdest thing? Think about it. You land in Jamaica and it's all black. Think about that. Just think about it for a minute. Isn't that weird? It should be weird to you because it was indigenous only. So how did people get from the continent of Africa to places like Cuba? That's strange when you really think about it. If you landed in Greece and everybody who came to get to the plane was Portuguese, you'd be like, what's going on? Right? But there's a transposing of bodies, right, through the translating slave trade. So that's how people got from Africa to the different diasporas. But what is Kwanzaa and why is it? We don't want it just to be a symbolic holiday, right? Most holidays are symbolic, so that's okay, right? Aren't all holidays symbolic and simply symbolic for different reasons, right? And that's all right. These celebrations are more about what they mean to us. So why Kwanzaa, right? Why? And why not? So I know we do these things and we come together and we should just hold Kwanzaa maybe in our heart and maybe even if we don't have time to do the celebrations. And also Kwanzaa is it's non-denominational, it's not connected to religion. So you could do Christmas and Kwanzaa. You could do Hanukkah and Kwanzaa. It's not religious in that particular way. It is spiritual, I would say. Anyway, I wanted us to think for a minute about 1966. It's so important right now for Kwanzaa, I think, for us to hold it. I made a little list for you guys of things that are happening in 1966. The civil rights activist James Meredith is shot. That's a famous event in civil rights history. He survives, but he's shot. The founding of the National Organization for Women is in 1966 as well. Lyndon Johnson signs the Freedom of Information Act. The Black Panther Party for Self-Defense. Emphasis on self-defense was founded also in 1966. There's an unprecedented mass shooting in the University of Texas. It left 46 people shot. Groundbreaking takes place for the World Trade Center, y'all. Isn't that crazy? New York City. I'm born in 1972, and my aunt used to work at the World Trade Center. She used to take us down. Like, The Wiz came out. That's old, man. And she took us we were like so excited to go to the World Trade Center to see where they shot The Wiz with the big, okay, go look at the movie, people. Come on. Come on. Anyway, April 21, 1966, a sip-in bar crawl in New York's West Village becomes an important event in the gay liberation LGBTQ movement. So people are unallowed from being patrons as gay citizens, and you have to kind of hide your identity. So they go into these sip-ins declaring their queerness and demanding a drink, which, again, civil rights movements are usually not doing anything overwhelming. They're usually doing mundane things. So I tell my students before we do civil rights movement, don't think they're trying to change the whole world. They're like trying to go to school. It's crazy when you think about that. You're trying to enter a building to go to school. You're Ruby Bridges and you're 6 years old. So cute. What's that about, right? Oh, they want to get water fountains. My mom's 92. She could give 2 cents about a water fountain. She's worried about, can we get municipality in our area of the city? Can we get proper sewage? That's what we're talking about. People think about water fountains. Black people were not overly obsessed with water fountains. I just want to make that announcement. They were obsessed with, can they go in City Hall and pay a ticket without being harassed? That's what we're talking about. We're talking about really important life services, right? And also we know things like voting rights and school integration. So that's important. So the 60s, so King makes his first public speech protesting the war in Vietnam, and former actor Ronald Reagan receives a Republican nomination for governor of California. Now I ask you guys, does this sound familiar to you? What we're descending into right now with kind of like, disunity and whatever, these things have happened before. So that means we can get through them again. It doesn't mean it's the same exact thing, but it does mean that we have the tools to get through them. And I want us to just really think about that. 65 saw the death of Malcolm X, and 68 would witness the death of King and Robert Kennedy, which people consider to be the end of the civil rights movement. But I want us to just meditate on that in this moment that's not very different than our own moment, right? And why would Karenga found Kwanzaa in that moment? What were they facing? Why do you found an organization for women as a national organization? What's happening for women that you have to do that? Is it much different? Not necessarily, right? So I want us to think about how Kwanzaa can be used and on that behalf. So why do I love Kwanzaa? Why we should all love Kwanzaa? Why should we all love Kwanzaa? Its principles are universal. Umoja is unity. Kujichagulia is self-determination. Ujima, which is today, is collective work and responsibility. Ujamaa is cooperative economics. Nia is purpose. Kuumba is creativity. Imani is faith. How could these not be useful principles for all of us all year round? Right? Is Kwanzaa made for black folks? Absolutely. Do you go to Jewish Seder? I do. So yes, it's for everybody. And it's all right. It's all right if something's for someone and you can join in. That's fine. I don't know what happened, what's going on with us, right? Kwanzaa encourages community and connectivity. I know you guys be out at the Patty's Day Parade. Kwanzaa encourages community and connectivity. It centers reflection and it pulls at us to strip away the many things that distract from ourselves and each other. It's both a quiet moment and a celebration within a nonstop year after year chaos and getting things done. So again, I say to you all, Habari Gani, which is what's the news? What is the news? Ujima is the news, but I just want you to be thinking about what is the news. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Professor. A lot to think about, because we will get through this. And we have been down these roads before. And with Kujichagulia, self-determination, we're going to be fine. With Ujima, collective work and responsibility, we're going to be fine. Umoja, unity, we're going to be fine. Those are only 3 of the principles. If we focus on those 3, we're good. And we got to continue to be thankful and make sure that we're moving in the right direction. It's really important. Thank you so much for putting that in some perspective for us. And it is universal. The 7 principles are universal. And we're going to talk a little bit more about that. But right now, we have another amazing lady in our community. And she knows a lot about the history here in Holyoke. She's a beautiful, wonderful young woman. I've learned a lot from her. Very honored to be able to learn a lot from her. And I'm going to call her up, Miss Diane McCullum. She is going to be lighting the candle of Ujima Ayana. Is going to assist.
It's a surprise. Surprise.
Well, that's what we like to do. Here's the matches right there. She's got Ayana's going to tell. This is Ayana. I don't know if you've met Ayana.
Yeah, I met her last year.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is what the colors are. You can like do the matches and let her know which one. Yeah. And it's gonna be.
You're gonna like the others?
No,
Or
just
the
one.
one?
Just the one for today.
Okay.
Let's close the. We usually have the other one. This is the old fashioned way. Tells you I don't,
Maybe you're not old enough.
yeah. So we have the flicker. I'm used to the flicker. Who's a flicker? Raise your hand. Hurry.
There you go. While I'm here,
Yes. I'll take that.
I'd like to say that we've been here all along. We've been in Holyoke, and we've always celebrated our heritage one way or the other. Bethlehem Baptist Community Church is the cornerstone of our community, and that's where we normally had all of our celebrations. But I am so grateful that we have made it to the City Hall. That Holyoke is aware that we are here. And I give thanks to Erica Slocum, to Teresa Cooper Gordon. Alex Morris was the first mayor that hosted Kwanzaa. And grateful to Joshua for hosting us again. And those are my thoughts. I can't speak for everyone, but I'm grateful for me.
The diamonds in Holyoke community. We got diamonds. Diamonds are precious. So now we're gonna honor some people in our community. Sometimes they're unsung heroes and sheroes that they do a lot of work, and sometimes people don't even know who they are. But those of us who have access to them, as well as the rest of the community, but may just say, oh yeah, well, that's what they're supposed to do. We wanna acknowledge them. And so we have a couple of set of awards. The first awards are gonna be given out by Ayana Crawford, who's the president of the Kwanzaa Collective. So we make a decision about, I make a decision with others here in this community who are going to get the awards, and then I let her know who they are. And before I go on, I also want to recognize a couple of other people. We have Carmen Ocasio here, who is also one of the city councilors here. And I don't do this by myself. I have to definitely thank, of course, the mayor and Ayana, but I have to thank Stephen and Nilka. Come in here. Come in here. Go. That's right. She's longevity. And again, diamonds in our community. And I just personally, publicly want to thank you for all your support that you give me. You listen to me, and you give me advice, and you ask me, like, what do you want us to do? What do you want us to do? And I'm like, oh, wow. But I appreciate you both so very, very much. And you are an example of what community looks like and what unity looks like. So thank you both. Okay, you're welcome. So now, Ayana, you're gonna come up and you're gonna your awards for the Kwanzaa Collective.
Habari gani?
Ujima.
Habari gani?
Ujima.
I am so honored and blessed to be here on today. Although this is not my home city, it is my home sister's city. Can we say that? And can we get an amen on that? I am a woman that has been instructed and learned by a woman that taught me Kwanzaa, whom is my mother, Sylvia Barksdale Wilson. I was born in 1972. I was born in 1972. And so I know the significance of our history, of where we've come and where we're going and where we will be. And so Kwanzaa is a time for me to express who I am as a black woman in America. Make no mistake about it. I am black before anything else. I wear multiple hats. I do multiple things. But one thing I will not deny is my blackness here in this America. So wherever you see me, be clear. Be very clear. Be very clear. I am black. I am African American. I love who I am. And I will always do that. That's all right. You know that's all right. I say that to say, because sometimes, as my sister said, that we do these we go through the motion, so to speak, with celebrations. This is not an in the motion celebration for me. I do this in home. I do this in community. I do this around and helping others to educate them. As my sister said, we're all Irish on St. Patrick's Day. I wear my green and I'm proud of it. And so I would hope that we can change the trend when Kwanzaa comes around. We're all African. We're all black. That's right. Let's change the thought process about how we show up for each other, how we show up for community, but how we show up for each culture. Come on now, folks. When it's Puerto Rican Heritage Month, where am I at? Where am I at, y'all? I'm at the Puerto Rican Parade, and I'm there supporting my Puerto Rican brothers and sisters. And so it's important for me that we change the narrative, if you will, about how we all do community. We're not going to be on the back burner. We're not going to be second class. We're not going to be an afterthought. We're not going to be, well, you know. No. We are kings and queens of ancient places that civilization started. And let us be clear. Let us be clear. That is so true. The history has already proven that. We just need to crack open that book and read what we all know is true. This was not what I had planned to say. This is not what I had planned to say. This is not what I was going to say. But what I do want to make sure that I say is that I am so honored to be in the presence of our elders, of women like Teresa Gordon, who has stood up here in this city fighting the good fight, making things reality. And so we have to respect and give respect to those that are fighting for the causes of housing, of education, of jobs, of right places to live. There are some real issues that we're all facing, black, white, all of us. I hail from Springfield, Massachusetts, like I said, and we're fighting the same fight. Violence in our streets. Our young people are not going to school. So what are we as a community going to do about that? What are we going to do about that? The mayor just said what we're going to do about that. And so we have your commitment. We thank you for what you've been doing here in Holyoke. You've been building up Holyoke. And we thank you for doing that. He's an inclusive mayor. I see you. I watch you. You're an inclusive mayor, and he sees where change needs to happen. And I see my state rep, too, as well. I thank you for what you do. And my city councilors here in Holyoke, I see you. I'm not too far. I see you all. So I thank you so much. And all of the residents here in Holyoke that do the work day in, day out. And so the Kwanzaa Collective is about educating and bringing awareness to Kwanzaa within Massachusetts. We were in Chicopee, of course, Springfield. We will be in Greenfield. We will be in Amherst on Sunday. And we are excited to open up different cities around Western Massachusetts to embody Kwanzaa. To not only go through the principles, to be here and to learn more about it. That's what we want to do. That's what I want to do. And so I'm grateful and thankful for all of you for being here. And so with that being said, what we try to do in collaboration with each of the cities is we want to continue to recognize great people doing great things. And these are these folks that are unsung heroes, that are not looking for recognition, that are not looking for, look at me, you know. They're not looking for that. And so I want to bring up for the Community Kwanzaa Impact Award 2 wonderful people, in which I know one of them. Well, I actually know 2 of them. But I want to say to Willie Spradley, we acknowledge you, we honor you, we thank you for your commitment, for what you do. And look at him. He looks like he's a king. He's a chief. Chief Nana Kukuao. We want to recognize you and say to you, thank you for keeping the legacy of Kwanzaa, the legacy of African culture here in Holyoke and all over of where you are, wherever spaces that you are. And so thank you so much.
Thank you.
So this is the Kwanzaa Community Impact Award, recognizing you for your significance here in Holyoke.
Thank you. I didn't plan on saying anything, so I'll be real brief. I thank the mayor, I thank my pastor, I thank our awesome community awareness team, Valley Opportunity Council, Western Mass Food Bank, all those agencies and groups and folks that are focused on bringing community together, despite what the noise may be around us, the focus on bringing community together. So thank you very much for the recognition. I appreciate it.
Yeah, come on. You should have been here.
No. So he said community awareness. So, probably you don't even know what community awareness we're talking about in terms of an organization. It is right here in Holyoke. It is based out of Bethlehem Baptist Community Church. This is our leader. He brought us together to address some issues and concerns and for awareness that we are here in Holyoke, and he's led us on. Mrs. McCullum is a part of community awareness here with us, and we have some other folks too, but you know, we are very thankful. And of course, that leadership comes from Pastor Bernard Smith. So, community awareness. So when I say about those folks that are unsung heroes, there's one right there. And we appreciate you and thank you for us making a difference here in Holyoke. I appreciate you.
Don't leave.
Okay.
And you can come
Okay.
and do the next one.
Go ahead. You
Call her up. And then you can mention who when she's done.
can't do
All right, our next honoree is Cocaine Givner. She's also a counselor here in Holyoke. Come on up.
Okay.
Kwanzaa Impact Award. Congratulations.
You can say something first.
Oh,
Go
you
ahead.
told me not to say
I
anything.
said, you no.
Listen to the listen to it.
She sent me a text message and she said, "Do I have to do a speech?" And I was like, "No." I said, "You can just express yourself." So go right ahead. Express yourself.
Well, thanks everyone. This is quite an award. When Teresa told me I was getting an award, I was surprised and humbled. So this collective work we do in Holyoke is really important, and it's nice to be recognized for.
Shiro, another diamond. And I'm not just talking about city council, I'm talking about the work that she does in terms of this whole community. So, the community awareness, your group, the leadership out of Bethlehem Baptist Community Church on Sargent and Elm. If we don't work collectively in our community, if we don't communicate in our community, then we don't know what's going on. And we can't improve and maintain the love for our community. So when I became a part of the community awareness group, I was like, okay, the church is in Ward 4. I said, we got a Ward 4 city councilor, you know, and and so I went and hung out with her. I said, hey, can we meet, you know? And she said, of course, you know. And so we talked about Bethlehem Baptist Community Church, and I invited her to come to our meeting so she could meet the team and she could meet the pastor and she could see the church. And I have to say, she has definitely been on the train with us. And she attends meetings when we need her to come to a meeting. She is right there on time. When we ask her to please assist us in some action being done to beautify our community, she is so on point. And guess what? They get done. They get done. So we appreciate you. And it is one of the goals is to acknowledge and recognize our people here in Holyoke. And as Ayana said, our black people here in Holyoke, because we are here. We are here. And we are diamond. So thank you so much. Ayana, thank you so much. This is what it's all about. that we collectively do this work together. Okay. So, right now, we're gonna have our mayor come up because we have some more awards for the unsung and the diamonds in our community. And it is an honor for the mayor to want to come up with these awards. And he's also going to do a proclamation. So thank you, Mayor.
Got it. All right, so for both Willie and Councilor Givner, I do have some goodies for you so you can frame it, hang it on your wall and remember me forever. And it reads here, on behalf of the citizens of Holyoke, that I, Mayor Joshua Garcia, do hereby congratulate Willie Spradley and City Councilor Cocaine Givner on this third day of Kwanzaa for Community Awareness Initiative. Well, for Willie specifically, Community Awareness Initiative, Councilor Givner for her outstanding advocacy for the citizens of Holyoke, Massachusetts, for living the Kwanzaa principle of Ujima by building and maintaining our community and making her brothers and sisters' problems her own problems. And for Brother Spradley, his vision honors the Kwanzaa principle of Ujima, collective work and responsibility, and witness whereof I have hereunto set my hand and have caused the official seal of the City of Holyoke to be affixed. Thank you so much for the work that you do in our community. It's an honor and very special privilege for me to not just to work with you and do the important work and support the community through you, but also just to call you friends and to know you. And so thank you.
Please come up and get those awards.
The last thing I have here is City of Holyoke proclamation, whereas Kwanzaa Week is based on harvest festivals that take place in Africa, and the name Kwanzaa translates to first fruits of the harvest in Swahili. And whereas Kwanzaa is celebrated using various symbols associated with harvest and by lighting a kinara or candle holder that has 7 candles. And whereas each candle represents one of these 7 principles: unity and self-determination, collective responsibility, cooperative economics, purpose, creativity, and faith. And whereas community members in Holyoke came together to plan and organize Kwanzaa in our city, wanting to share their history and traditions. And whereas the City of Holyoke acknowledges the contributions that the African American community and their legacy have contributed in strengthening our society, past and present. Now therefore be it resolved that I, Joshua A. Garcia, Mayor of Holyoke, do hereby proclaim December 26, 2024 through January 1st, 2025 as Kwanzaa Week in the City of Holyoke, and urge all our citizens in the city to extend their well wishes during this season. Thank you.
We're almost there. So we also have a tradition, and it's called libation, because there were others here before we were here. And we have our ancestors who paved ways for us, who instilled what the 7 principles mean to us. And what I'd like for you to do as participants, because Kwanzaa is also a participating celebration, is that you can just say the name of one of your ancestors or 2 of your ancestors, because their spirit is with us. Their determination is within us every single day. And their souls live because we lift them up. So I'll start off with, I'd like to make a, and that's what we use the Unity Cup for, basically. So basically, we would have a whiskey in here, and you would pour it into the soil, and you would say the name of that person. So I'm gonna say my dad, Clarence Cooper, and my mom, Mary J. Cooper.
Do we have any water?
Yeah, but it's okay, yeah. But anybody, just,
Malcolm X, Joseph Wright.
thank you.
Sylvia Barksdale Wilson.
Ron Johnson. Or Hopkinson.
Morales. Edwinda Morales.
Wyndham
E. Henry Twiggs.
E. Henry Tiggs.
Harriet Smith.
Harry
Venture Smith.
Rebecca Spradley and Viola McCarter.
Mary
Dyson Mary Duffy.
Mary Barksdale.
Raleigh McCarter.
Rosanna Odom and Fletcher Odom.
Richard Scott Gordon.
Pinky Hinton and Nancy Blair, my grandmother and my mother.
Yes.
Matthew Crawford.
James and Georgiana Tender.
Sylvia Barksdale.
John Gracie. John Gracie, yes.
Cynthia Barksdale.
Nelson Stevens.
Michelle Barksdale.
Dan Strickland.
Carrie Buckner.
Jane Long, Sarah Long.
Gwendolyn McCarter.
Abraham Barksdale.
Arthur Nelson.
Ben Swan.
Haywood and Katie Littles, my grandparents. All right, thank you. We have to always keep those ancestors and those spirits alive. The soul doesn't die. We keep it alive by acknowledging them. So, we're almost at the, well, for today. Because Kwanzaa, 7 principles of 365 days a year. So you all have the Nguzo Saba, which is the last page of your program, which is the 7 principles. I want you to take this home with you. The 7 principles are not just from December 26th until January 1st. The 7 principles are 365 days a year. And what you do is you rotate them. So on Monday, you will start with Umoja. You will go to the next day, it will be Kujichagulia. The third day will be Ujima. Take this with you. Read these principles. They are universal. They're not just for one group of people. What community would not want to live by the 7 principles? You want to have faith. You want to have Kuumba. You want to be creative. So please, please take the principles. Let's focus here in our community, Holyoke, to practice these 7 principles, to bring that unity, to bring that togetherness, so we can have a healthy, peaceful community. And if we do that within our families, it comes out to the community, because our families are what? The community. And if we continue to do this, okay, we'll be able to see the difference. So please, the Nguzo Saba, the 7 principles, Habari Gani. I just want to say thank you so much to everyone for being here. It is a great celebration. It will continue. And I know here in Holyoke, we're going to continue to celebrate 365 and 65 days a year. We're gonna start doing it every week, because there's 7 days, and there's 7 days and what? A week. So we got it. So thank you all for being here. Oh, Paul, you're here. Yeah, thank you for being here. Green Street Trio, okay.
And let us thank Miss Teresa Cooper Gordon for a wonderful presentation, a wonderful day today. She is our elder, she is a community leader, she is someone that stands up for all of us, and we ought to recognize her as well. So thank you so much. We love you.
I love you all too, thank you. So, of course, we break some little refreshments here, so please stay, talk to each other, and have some food. But thank you all, I love you all, and today is Ujima, collective work and responsibility. Love you, thank you so much.